Alright, what's up YT? It's Andy Brown DT. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is the top 10 live series card in the game. I thought it'd be pretty interesting to go look at what the actual best 10 in real life players are in this game. And I think I might make a video soon of just using the best live series card and see if we can win in a ranked match. But anyways, let's get right into the video. Let me know down below who you think I got wrong, I got right. Yeah, let's get it. Coming in at that number 10 spot, we have one of my favorite swings in this game with Matt Olsen. This card is really solid overall, actually, for a live series. It's got pretty solid hitting stats, 107 power versus lefties, and fielding stats on Matt Olsen are very solid as well. Arm strength isn't great, but he's a first baseman, doesn't really need it. Lefty bat in the lineup, which is really nice lefty power swing. But his overall stats in general are pretty nice, and like I said, this guy's swing is just off the charts. I love hitting with this guy. He hits really good. It's between him and a pitcher, but I decided to put him just because I love mashing with this guy. In that number 9 spot, we got my favorite player in this game. At least it was for a while when he had that sick Player of the Month card. Byron Buxton. His live series is pretty similar to his Player of the Month, just obviously way less juiced hitting stats, but his fielding is still pretty decent, and he still does have that 99 speed, decent steal to go along with it. The sad thing about this card is I think it would have been a lot better still if he could stay healthy, but obviously he could not. So he's still an 89, but honestly for an 89, it's a really solid card. Very solid all-around hitting stats, besides the power versus lefties, which is pretty low. But fielding, obviously, for Buxton is great, and his speed makes up for the hitting as well. So yeah, Byron Buxton, I think, also definitely had to make it. He comes in at the number 9 spot. Into that number 8 spot, we got the Mad Max Scherzer, the now Dodger, unfortunately. But this guy actually has some pretty solid stats and pitches for a pitcher. For his four seam, it's at 95, slider, changeup, cutter. Love his pitch mix and the curveball. And his velocity isn't the greatest, 77, but he has some decent control. Very good hits per 9 for a live series. Overall, though, his pitching stats are pretty good. Decent stamina, decent strikeouts per 9, and obviously this is only a 90 overall card, so it's really not a bad card at all. And like I said, I love his pitch mix. At that number 7 spot, we got basically an upgraded Max Scherzer with Garrett Cole. Pretty similar pitch mix. He's got similar curveball, except it's a knuckle, changeup, 2-seam, 4-seam slider. But this guy's stats compared to Scherzer's are just juiced. 89 stamina, 87 hits per 9, 82 strikeouts per 9, 83 walks per 9. All of these 80 plus is great. Home runs per 9 is the only issue with at 61. And his clutch, control, velocity, break, all honestly outstanding for a live series pitcher. This guy actually is not a bad pitcher to use, really. He is going for 50K, so I don't think it's really worth that. I think you get something better. But he has a ton of perks to go along with him. A lot of good ones too. Is actually a pretty underrated card in this game. Going into the number 6 spot, we got Max Muncie, a potential MVP candidate. Max Muncie's having an insane season, and another guy that I absolutely love his swing on. He's got really good powers, actually 92 and 104, which are actually really solid. Diamond hitting, gold fielding. Not the greatest of contacts, not the greatest of fielding, honestly, for gold. But he's a first baseman, and he has the fielding and reaction, which is always good. Perks here with Bomber, not bad. Quick reflexes is pretty good. Very cheap buy, obviously. I think you can get a better one. I don't know if it's a Player of the Month. I can't remember what it is, but it's a better version of him. But yeah, Max Muncie also has a very nice swing. Bats lefty in the lineup, which is always great. Into that number 5 spot, we got Ronald Acuna Jr., who has diamond hitting, diamond fielding. Honestly, a great overall live series card here. Very solid all-around hitting stats, very solid all-around fielding stats. 96 arm strength, really good. Has a ton of perks. That's what, 12 perks. Really good perks there. Obviously, this guy is a bit expensive, and he's not worth it now because you can get the free 99 by doing a pretty easy player program. Before that came out, this card was actually really nice and a really good one to use. People use it a lot, hit pretty good with it, and it has really good all-around stats, 89 speed, 65 steal, to go along with those. And yeah, like I said, before his player program card came out, this was actually a very solid card to use. Into that number 4 spot, I feel like this is where things get kind of serious and people actually start using these cards. We got the cover player, Fernando Tatis Jr, 95 overall, diamond hitting, diamond fielding. Very solid fielding sets, 99 arm strength, 85 fielding, 85 reaction, very good there. A ton of perks, even more than the last guy who had a ton. Can play really anywhere you want him to. Second base, third base, shortstop, left, center, or right, which is really nice. And those hitting stats are just really good. 86 contact versus righties, 62 versus lefties, 115 power versus righties, 99 power versus lefties. Overall, a very solid hitting card, very good fielding card, and just all-around good card. This guy is pretty pricey, once again, around 50K. But I know a lot of people that actually still use this guy and love his swing. I've just never used him. Into that number 3 spot, we got the 94 overall first baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Once again, I've said this so many times about Vladdy. I love Vladimir's swing. It is one of the best swings, honestly the best swing in the game in my opinion. This card might even be a little bit higher if his 99 All-Star game wasn't out, but it's going to make the number 3 spot because it is a little bit outdated now. But the hitting stats on it are off the charts. 102 contact righties, 65 contact lefties, 109 power righties, 80 power lefties. Fielding stats are pretty bad. It's Guerrero. First baseman, though, really is not a big deal. Obviously got some decent perks here. Not a ton, but decent hitting perks. He's also a very cheap buy, obviously, because he's pretty outdated, like I said. But still, Vladimir Guerrero, I know if anybody else has used Vladdy, which obviously a bunch of people do, his swing is just goated. And into that number 2 spot, I think number 2 and number 1 are pretty obvious for everybody. Number 2 is going to be the Jacob deGrom. Obviously, this card is not as good as it once was. People even used to use this card in their rotation, and it was nasty, but it's not as good as it was now because they added the new 99 one with the Team Affinity Season 3. But still, deGrom is a really nice pitcher. If you could use deGrom and then deGrom, that'd be pretty sweet, but I do not believe you can. And obviously, deGrom has some pretty decent hitting stats actually for a pitcher because he actually hits really good in real life. Yeah, deGrom's 80K, really not worth the buy since you can get a free 99 version of him, but still, really nice card overall. And into that number 1 spot, who saw anybody else than Mike Trout? Diamond hitting, gold fielding. Not the greatest of fielding stats for Trout. I feel like they did rob him a little bit there. I feel like they also rob him with these steals. His speed is decent, but his hitting stats are off the charts. 109 contact, 195 contact, 115 power, and 87 power. His stats are just so good, and this guy is just so clutch when you need him. Love using Mike Trout, and definitely by far the best live series in the game. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know down below by leaving a like and sub if you are a GOAT, which most of you are. I appreciate you watching this, and let me know down below what I also did wrong.